It's here!
Can't stop us now, not holding back, we're falling from the star highs with 2 feet on the ground, not slowing down, running fast into it.
Hello, Ghost Hunters! This major patch known as Eventide has finally arrived. There are a lot of patch notes, so I'll only cover some of them in this video as there are way too many to list here. So let's start with the most exciting news, the new map, Point Hope. Point Hope was recently refurbished by a young family seeking something unique to call home. You'll be welcomed by a modern extension complete with a hallway, closets, and a downstairs bathroom before entering into the Lighthouse's main living room. Decorated with nautical knickknacks, you'll be faced with spiral staircases and round rooms. And unique doesn't quite describe this new location. It definitely has a lot of love poured into it. It features 10 floors and 12 rooms. It unlocks at level 15 for new players. So let's take a look at this new location. In proper style, the new map is located coastally, and if believed by the plaque by the entrance, it's located in Massachusetts. The outside of the map is definitely unique and very detailed. You can even see the waves crashing up against the shore. The bell outside can be interacted with, much like we had a bell at the entrance of Sunny Meadows. This one, thankfully, cannot be taken to the van where teammates, certainly not mine, can very annoyingly ring it non-stop. Inside, you'll find these very unique light switches, most rooms having 2. The bathroom has a shower that can be opened and closed. I haven't tried this as a hiding spot yet, but I suspect it works. If you have tried it, let me know how it turned out in the comments. This leads into a small hallway with a closet that I assume works as a hiding spot, but this door has me a little worried. The living room has lots of fun little knickknacks that can be interacted with and includes the most unique hiding spot I've seen yet. This lighthouse can be opened and players can hide inside. The door is a bit tricky, but it's easiest if you click on it and hold it until you're inside. Also, this light in the middle of the boats cannot be turned off, even though it does have a power button. I suspect there is more to this. If you figure it out, let me know. The living room leads upstairs to the kitchen where we find our first bit of lore. On the front of the fridge are the words, "Friend Angry." More on that when we get to the kids' room. Again, many items in this room can be interacted with, including the sausage. This leads upstairs to a dining area with many wine bottles, plates, and cigars, all of which can be interacted with. From here, we go upstairs to the games room. This is definitely one of my favorite rooms, as almost everything here can be interacted with. Pool balls can be picked up and tossed as if playing pool, although will not interact with the other balls. The chessboard has pieces which can be picked up and placed, and the darts from the dartboard can be thrown. If I missed something in this unique room, please let me know. From here, we go to the bathroom and on up to the main bedroom. And up one more floor is the kids' room. This is probably the most unique of all the rooms, with lots of interesting drawings and hints at lore. This picture, for example, with mom, dad, me, and friend, who doesn't look too happy. Also, many of the toys in this room are interactable, including this shark and this parrot. There's even a nightlight that can be turned on. Above this is the workshop, including 2 new lockers. Continuing up, you get to the inner workings of the lighthouse. Gears can be seen and heard turning to rotate the light above. And finally, players can reach the actual light area of the lighthouse and even walk around outside on this balcony. It's quite a good view from here too. The real question is this Maple Lodge? Also keep in mind that when descending the stairs that players can bonk their heads here, and unless crouching or hugging the wall, can get stuck. I foresee many face hugs happening in this exact spot. And that is the lighthouse. Now, I'm certain I missed plenty of cool hidden gems in this map. So many things can be touched, picked up, moved, interacted with, and they all have unique sounds. I want to hear from you what you find. So if you see something I didn't, let me know in the comments. So let's talk about some of the other major changes that I feel are worth mentioning here. First, progression is going to be easier and harder. Easier for most people because getting from level 1 to 100 so that you can prestige will be about 10% less difficult. But if you are leveling past 100, it is going to be harder. The amount of XP will increase once players reach level 999, as the new max level is 9,999. This means if you didn't grind your way to Prestige 20 and level 999, then you're not really missing out much, as that increase only begins with level 1000. Sunny Meadows Restricted is now considered a medium location. This is great for players who are enjoying this location because rewards for correctly identifying your ghost in medium or large locations is increasing from 125 to 150 for medium and from 150 to 200 for large locations. As for item changes, the Tier 1 dots has had its range increased. The Tier 3 scanning effect can now be paused when it is rotating, which actually makes this an item worth taking on hunts now. The Tier 1 EMF has had its needle changed, so it will stop flickering up to 5 and giving players the false belief that they've just received evidence of their ghost. The Tier 3 EMF has a new sound, and no, that isn't someone backing up outside. The Firelights had changes as well for the Tier 1 and 2, which will now last longer, 5 minutes for the Tier 1 and 10 for the Tier 2. Supposedly, the light intensity and range was increased as well, but these look exactly the same to me. So if you have the Tier 3, bring those. And expect to still be fumbling around in the dark when using the Tier 1 and the Tier 2. Headgear got new sounds and a new key binding. For those of us who cannot see our headgear in-game, you can now set a keybind to turn it on or off, and it should make different sounds. And the night vision goggles will now have interference during hunts. A big change came to the Parabolic Microphone, which returned the ability to getting sounds on floors above and below. If you didn't know this wasn't in the game for the last several months, then you obviously aren't using the Paramic enough. The Thermometer is more annoying at Tier 1 and less annoying at Tier 3. The Tier 1 will be less consistent and will have much more randomization, rendering it practically useless. The Tier 3 thermometer's hold time has been reduced to 3 seconds. It's also less random and more accurate, which may make it the best thermometer. Sanity Medication will be quicker, taking a lot less time to return your sanity. The Tier 3 will now also instantly refill your sprint and keep it full for 10 seconds. The UV got a big change with the Tier 2 and the Tier 1 being swapped. We all knew the glow sticks were better than the UV flashlight. And what I consider a major change and a huge improvement, you can now carry 3 items and an igniter. So yes, you can carry 4 items, but only if one of those items is an igniter. Also a major change, ghosts can now leave a single fingerprint on all small lamps and TV remotes. Also, this makes me wonder if the fingerprints for the Obake will be different on these items. Based on the patch notes, I'd guess no. But if you get an Obake, check it and let me know. The Ouija board got a major boost by changing the sanity drain from 50% to 20% when asking for the location of the bone. This makes the Ouija board much more useful. Some of you probably knew this, but if your ghost could have ghostwriting as evidence and it kicked the book, this meant it did not have ghostwriting as evidence. Now if the ghost interacts with the book and doesn't have ghostwriting as evidence, it will also close the book. So players can now use this to help identify their ghosts. There are new badges in the game now as well. The Lighthouse Keeper is for players who correctly identify their ghost on point hope 50 times. Please note that this cannot be done on a 0 multiplier. The Apocalypse trophies now have badges as well for those players who have earned their bronze, silver, or gold. If you've already earned your trophy, completing any game of any kind will give you your new badge. Besides the things I've mentioned here, there are also many bug fixes. Also, those of you who are cheater pumpkin eaters and like to climb around on objects in certain maps, chances are that won't work for you anymore. I'll probably have an update video on this in the coming days as I get a chance to play a bit more on the new map and experience the changes to all of the game. For now, I hope you all enjoy this new location, as it obviously was a labor of love for the developers. Let me know any changes you thought were important that I maybe didn't cover here in this video. I'd love to hear your experiences in the new map, and any things that you found that I didn't mention, so please let me know. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy hunting.